Welcome to our live stream here on lichess and Twitch. International Master William Paschall. I'm going to be taking challenges 5-3 fast blitz, relatively fast blitz, with commentary here on lichess. My handle is Sparkle Horse. Actually, I have to resize the window here. Bear with me. So, there we go. Welcome, Masturbate. What's up? Friday. All right, let's do a puzzle while we're waiting. This puzzle I couldn't figure out, so I put it on hold. Or does it just look like another puzzle? No, I couldn't do this one. Strange puzzle. I can't figure this out. Bishop h7 check. King h7. Queen h4 check. Oh, that has to be it, right? Bishop h7, king h7, queen h4 check. King g6, knight e5, mate. Queen h4 check, king g8. And then bishop takes e7. If queen e7, knight g5, knight f6, rook f6, followed by mate. So bishop h7, king h7, queen h4 check, king g8, bishop e7, threatening knight g5. If knight e7, knight g5. I've got a Grandmaster tournament I'm supposed to play in 2 weeks, exactly 2 weeks from today. So I was trying to sharpen myself a little tactically, doing some puzzles, which I don't normally thrive on. I don't really enjoy puzzles, but this one looks pretty straightforward. Sacking the queen. All right, good job, me. We did a puzzle on the stream. Puzzles. Azerbay, what's up? One more quote. It has been stated that a characteristic mark of a combination is surprise. Perhaps. The obvious combination. The obvious combination. Obviously not considered. Dweep is challenging to 5+3. Surprise to the defender, not the assailant. Since otherwise the combination will probably be unsound. Most combinations are unsound. It doesn't have to be sound to be a combination. Do you prefer a combination or tactic? Alright. Man, I don't have a glass or anything to drink directly from the bottle. Good thing it's not vodka. It's just water. Help improve the stream, make a donation. Thanks, Mubat. We got challenges from two of the new players here, Dweep and Ripun. I gotta just call him, Ripun sounds weird, like a repossessor. He's a repo man. Rapunzel or repo. Alright, Dweep, 5+3. Dweep? Who's Dweep? It's some sort of Smurf account, I suspect. Maybe not. Alright, guys. Weird openings Wednesday. No, it's Friday. Forgot to get a glass for my drink. Time to start. Lost my acorn. Anyway, welcome guys to the stream. I'm International Master William Paschall. I'll try not to be so noisy with the mic. I just put the water next to the mic. Wasn't thinking. Very common problem. Dweep is 1900, plays a Nimzo. 1900 Nimzo player, 1900 Blitz Nimzo player on lichess. Suspicious. Bishop takes c5. I've also played this myself. Now that line doesn't have as good a reputation as some others. I'm supposed to play like bishop g5 now. Knight c6 has kind of gone out of fashion. Well, I don't know if it was ever a fashion, but I've looked at this a bit and I don't think it's that great for black. I've played queen b6. This has become something of like a main line instead of knight c6 here, but it's kind of artificial. Queen b6 forcing e3, and then black plays like a6 or queen c7. Knight c6 doesn't have a great reputation. It's playable, but it seems like white's slightly better. I believe it was like knight d4 was originally what black would do here at an early stage. One has to be careful about like e4 weakening the f2 square. E3 is safest. It would be possible to play something like rook d1. Position is quite similar to a queen's gambit. But I mean the difference is in the queen's gambit you get structures like this where like the bishop's on f4. The Horwitz variation with bishop f4, move 4, or move 5. But that's not as good. We don't have the pin, so this pin gives us better control of d5 than in that line. I don't have a choice here. I mean, I guess I could play bishop f4, but I mean, this is the point. Aspect would probably play g5 there, but I don't recommend it. 500 donation to buy me the beer and coffee. The beer and coffee fund. Had my coffee just a little while ago. How is everybody? I hope everyone is well. Thank you so much, WJ Loof, early there. Man, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning for WJ Loof. So, bishop b7, that's actually maybe a good move. I sound very positive. I had a game like this one time where I played maybe knight h5. That's probably more appropriate. That's probably more appropriate if white has played e4. Now rook d1. Attacking the d5 pawn again. If queen a5, bishop f6, pawn d5, you know, this actually looks okay for black. Dude, who am I playing here? I don't know about this dweeb guy. He already beat me once. No, he drew. Queen a5 is like Capablanca. Damn, what's going on? cd5, knight d5. a3, not very convincing. I don't have a choice now. Looks like a3 to keep him off of b4. I have to let him take on c4, and white has very little advantage. I don't know about this guy. Seems pretty good. 1699 classical question mark, 1778 rapid question mark. But he's always here for the stream as soon as the stream starts. I feel like it's not a new player. It's got to be someone who's had a different account, who knows me. This is okay for black. Dweeb. Who plays the Nimzo though? Like nobody. I have no Nimzo games with anybody. Who could this be? You had another nightmare shift? Dealing with a mudslide? Guitar player, bruh? I don't know that. Sounds vaguely familiar. Should I play rook takes d8? Probably, right? Rook takes d8. Then I have to force one of his pieces back to d8. Is that you? Cold River? You're owning up to it being you? Your Bronx defense. 95 is a weird move, though. I don't know, Black played this game like a professional. He's still slightly worse. Semi-professional, maybe. I guess if he was a professional, he would be better already. Let's see. But better than 1900 lichess. The first game against him was very impressive. That draw, where he like tortured me with a pawn up position. That's weird. They played the Queen's Gambit in that game without knowing to play h6. Paranoid. Now I win a piece. Semi-professional. Only a semi-professional. But this is a stupid way to win. Black started going south with Queen d8. Actually, Rook d8. But it's not so easy for him to develop. Maybe I underestimated my own position here. Black has to be really careful. Perhaps b6? I didn't really do anything. I just won a piece. I don't know what got into me playing the white side of the classical Nimzo, though. I haven't played much in 20 years. Maybe I don't win a piece. That would be a funny turn of events. Knight f7. At the very minimum, knight f7 is pretty strong. I guess I gotta take the knight, though. And we want to look at something else. Knight f7, queen f7, rook d7. My knight is trapped in there, though. It's a nice idea. Knight f7, king f7. Very bad for black. Knight f7, queen f7, rook d7, rook d8 or something. I don't know. I'm going to take it this way. The other way, I'm not sure how my knight's getting out. This way he's weak on e6. He's down a pawn. b7's hanging. We have white square threats. That's the second pawn. Totally dynamic move, rook d8. But I'm going to call his bluff here. Black doesn't have any real threats. Back rank mate. Non-existent. The knight at e5 bothers me a little bit. I don't like that piece there. What am I going to do about it? Queen G7 threatening Queen F3. There's no threats here, are there? And he's fast too. Luckily D1 is controlled. Mudslides. Yeah. That's a girl's drink. Man. My first girlfriend used to drink mudslides. No, there was something else. Yeah, mudslides and grape crushes. Guys would make fun of me if I ordered a mudslide. Alright, what's up? Rook H7 check. This is over. Ripun, Krapnik. These guys are subscribers. I don't know about Krapnik. I never actually drank Grape Crush. Guys, why are you making me think about alcoholic beverages? It's not even midday here. So Ripun, the Long Island iced tea is a classic. Those are dangerous. We used to order those at Chinese restaurants. Like at 3 o'clock in the morning. So Ripun's playing the unusual variation. I don't remember this even existing in the old days. It's like a reversed knight c3, bishop b5 line. So I guess now they're playing it with black. We could transpose to 4 knights. I was talking about this variation yesterday. Knight f6, e3. So your liquor stores are open. Everything's open here. Our cases are through the roof. We have like 1,000 cases a day now. But there's no sort of... Well, the one thing we have is like restaurants and bars have to close at like 11. That's the only real restriction. A lot of chess tournaments happening here too. And I don't think that they're cracking down on the 14-day quarantine. I know a chess player who just came into the country. No names, please. But I thought there was like a 14-day quarantine, and he's going to be playing chess from like tomorrow, and he's only been here a few days. I'm a little concerned there's not enough control over these quarantine procedures. I guess so if you have a test, you can prove... If you have a test, you can prove that you don't have COVID. You don't have to quarantine. He probably has one. So this is weird. 97, d6 and 97. Very advanced opening for 1079. I'm accusing all of my opponents of being underrated. I just hedged my bets. If I accuse everyone of being underrated, I'll look better than I really do. So you're playing the Morales opening with colors reversed. He also plays like mainline Sicilian with white. But you don't sandbag, right? Someone was admitting sandbagging yesterday. This is a reversed Morales opening. Perfectly played by black. I have the additional move queen c2 that I wouldn't normally have here. Maybe he's just really good at openings. Yeah, this is not that clear. Did I miss something there? I think I missed a stronger move. Oh man. Not that clear though. Knight g5, bishop f5. Now queen takes d5 is best. Queen takes d5. Never ever believe your opponent. That's rule number 1. Sadly, he might be alright here. Damn. I missed one thing. No, I think it's still alright for me. Knight g5, bishop f5. Who was here for yesterday's stream? Knight g5, bishop f5, e4. Knight d4 was the move I missed, but now I have queen d3. It looks like I'm still winning. There was a bit of a nervous moment there. Let's just double check. Knight g5. Balkush. The Balkush variation. I hope this works. You know, it may not work. That's kind of messed up. He might have a way out of this. Another variation I didn't see. You were here just briefly. Strangely, the black might have a defense to this. F5! Exclamation point. I have to lie so that people won't follow my advice. Yeah, bishop f5 is the obvious move, but I think you might have a defense with the passive g6. Could it be possible that g6 works? g6, bishop takes g4, and queen takes g2. Oh no, it doesn't work. No, we have to go further. g6, bishop takes g4, queen g2. Bishop f3, queen g5, he gets his piece back. So g6, bishop g4, queen g2, queen e4, and now miraculously, queen e4, knight e4, f5, and white is probably better positionally, but I'm not winning a piece. Let's see, f5, I actually have knight e6 there, so we can keep going. Knight e6, rook f6, knight c7, rook c8, and I'm still not winning a piece. We'll check it after the game. So e4, I figured this is winning. Knight d4 is the key move. My first fear was that this works for black. Knight d4, bishop d4, queen d4, and my rook is hit on a1. But on knight d4, I have a queen move, queen d3, maybe even queen b1. Yeah, Antonio, you caught me. I have to throw in an occasional lie so people just don't blindly follow my advice. Then I'm playing against myself. But this guy's playing your system. It's unbelievable. And f5, I know. I was trying to trick him into playing f5. You got to keep him honest. But I get scared when somebody's playing your system. Yeah, it's cool. No, it's fine to say it now. You're totally correct. Once the position's passed, it doesn't matter. You know, that's absolutely normal. So he lost a piece. I'm going to play it safe. Always trade pieces when you're up pieces. Don't trade pawns, trade pieces. If you trade too many pawns, it may be a draw. I need to publish, yeah. Well, Morales is one of our big experts. He has a great score with this system. But it's interesting trying to play it with black, a tempo down. It's definitely good for white. I'm skeptical as to how good it can be like with one move less. But my extra move was like queen c2, which wasn't very useful. So I think the truth is he doesn't have to lose a piece. But the point was why queen takes d5? See, I intentionally suggested that so he would blunder. I know that I'm supposed to be instructive, but I can't, like, just tell you guys the good moves every game. So the point would be to play... Oh, okay, first of all, I don't like d5. It goes against the theme of the position. As Morales knows, like, we're normally playing for this closed kind of break. But let's say we do play d5. I mean, I guess black should take with a knight. But now knight d4. Is this the right position? Balkush, the Balkush mate. So let's see. First of all, like, the whole thing is very interesting. So this is probably not entirely new. Going back to 95 here with Ivanchuk. It's not a bad system for black, I think. I don't really know what I should do. Knight d5 according to the engine. I've played that before, but I'm not really convinced by this. You can simply play bishop e7. I mean, that's certainly playable. Although in the bishop e7 lines, I guess usually you don't play knight c6. Like, guys, you should know that this is a system. Knight f3, c4, e5, knight c3, bishop b4 is a very well-known line that I played myself with black. It's like Trompowsky on the other side of the board. It's a Rossolimo of sorts. So this is a variation, like bishop e4, bishop e7, but here black has c6, which is an important component of black's setup. With the knight on c6, he doesn't have that. So I guess after bishop e4, knight d5, I like a5. What's wrong with a5? The engine really likes white, but I don't get it. And I don't think this is that great. Why is white's position so great? It seems like a good defense to me for black. Anyways, just to go on. Whatever. Playing like black. So there's games here. Mitkov. The country formerly known as Macedonia. What is it now? What's the new name for Macedonia? Castles, knight a4, bishop g4, take, bishop e2, d5. So this is a mistake. Takes. And now, the computer likes knight takes d5. Wow, so it likes queen takes d5. I mean, if knight takes d5, I have b5, winning a pawn. Mitkov's from Macedonia, but he played tons of tournaments in the US. I never got paired with him. Queen takes d5. I don't get it. Why does knight g5 not work? This works for him? What? We must have missed something major. So I thought g6. Wow. Look at that move. That's a good puzzle, lichess puzzle. Totally missed it. 94, game over. Oof. The point is, of course, like f5, bishop c4 always sort of ends the fun. I didn't see that. So g6 doesn't work. He has to play bishop f5. He actually could play e4. Maybe that's a better defense objectively. It just loses a pawn. That's probably better, but this works somehow. What? e4? Knight d4? I don't get it. Why does this work? Oh no. Of course it works because I'm pinned. I'm pinned to the diagonal here. So I was thinking I would play queen d3, but I'm not threatening anything. That's messed up. I mean, I figured I was threatening this. But let's say he plays like bishop g6. That doesn't work. Oh, that's weird. He could even play this. This doesn't work at all. Wow. So he's completely okay after e4, knight d4, queen b1. This is even worse. I probably have to take the knight. Like if this, here, here, knight takes d5 or something, knight here. This is a disaster, man. So nice opening. It totally worked. Wow. Queen d5 was right. And I was trying to get him to play it. I told him to play it. What an idiot I am. I thought I was telling him a blunder, but I'm like telling him the right move by accident. That's crazy. Alright, Morales. Morales is a subscriber and so is Cheesy Noob. So we'll take their challenges first. That's all I need after that game is to play you with black. I'm not playing the Sicilian. What was I going to do if I don't play the Sicilian? This guy plays the same system we just saw with colors reversed. I don't want another game like that. You played knight f3? What are you doing? You want me to play c5? Haha, you can't play knight c3. He's taking it easy on me. It's usually e4, c5, knight c3. But that's not even interesting. He beats me so bad. c5 and f5. No, on Wednesdays I play like fun openings. But I want to try to be serious. And I don't have as much time to think in the 5+3 as I do. And oftentimes I'm playing 7-3 with a little bit more time. Morales is really strong. He's way better than 2004. Once again, I say this for all my opponents. Not only to make you guys feel good, but to make me look better. Everyone is stronger than their ratings. That way when I lose, I look better. But seriously, Morales' rating never changes because he doesn't play any rated games, but he is really, really tough. I mean, look at his score. I'm an international master. I mean, I think I'm a pretty strong player. He's got 76 points to my 185. That's a really credible result. I think that, you know, you would have to be normally around high 2100s at least to have that kind of score. Of course, depending on what the format was, if they're all simul games, like, it would be way more realistic, but he actually doesn't really play in my simuls. These are mostly just blitz games, or rapid, and he's still got like 33%. It's a little bit less, okay, but anyway, like a very credible result. Rook e1. I think I've had this before, a lot of games already. I don't know where the system got invented. I just saw like a few years ago. It got played against me. I'll try to be grammatically correct since a lot of you are not first language English speakers. It was played against me. It got played is grammatically incorrect. It was played against me. Try to be a good influence on the English learners. It was played against me by this Serbian grandmaster. Now, I can't remember his name. When I was white, and I was like, wow, what is bishop f5? But it's actually a pretty good system. So e4, that's a bit unusual. That's just a bit outside. Then I come back to g4. Repunning. If you get the joke, based on our last opponent. Happy Friday, everybody. It's a great day. I'm supposed to play in a Grandmaster tournament in 2 weeks. So I'm trying to get warmed up for a set event. How about knight d4? Permapin. He'll take with the bishop. Take with the bishop, take with the bishop. Then what? What is white's next move? You could take with the pawn, definitely. But I love my bishop too much. Actually, I control so much space after CD that capture is probably reasonable. I wasn't born yesterday. You guys know that for sure. Man, this is a little upsetting. I don't really want to do this, but I know who I'm playing and what his modus operandi is. There was a really, really scary variation. If I tried to play the natural bishop g7, you have to know who your opponent, right? Know your opponent. I've played him 262 games now. I think that's enough to know them pretty well. He doesn't even play the English, and he's like a genius here. Rouse, do you ever make mistakes, man? Damn. He doesn't even play the English, and he's playing like a genius in this game. Knight b5, didn't even consider this move. I'm gonna live by my credo. Bishop g7 maybe. You can have it. It's unbelievable. Do you have any fear whatsoever? How can you be 2004? Seriously. It's getting ridiculous now. I'm like afraid to play him. He's that strong. Nothing to think about here. He just makes, and last time he made an unsound sacrifice and still beat me. Here we go again. Like, you're almost toying with me. You can make unsound sacrifices and still beat me. It's like he's literally toying with me now. I'm terrified to accept a sacrifice by this player. 2.5 out of the last 3 against me. And he's super fast, not just good. I don't know, man. I'm lucky if I draw, of course. Down a pawn. My philosophy about this type of position is that material doesn't matter as much in opposite color bishop positions. But in this case, I mean, it's pretty clear pawn up. I mean, I don't really have much counterplay or anything. But it goes deeper than any kind of tactics here. The strategic ideas he grasps here in this game very, very quickly, almost innately, like instantaneously. You can't really see it's under the surface a lot of ideas that I think that most people would have to use a lot of time to come up with. But he sees it like instantly. Even though he doesn't even play the English opening with white. It's like unbelievable. I should just resign. I mean, I have no chance. Do you never make tactical mistakes? What are you talking about? You tactics, you suck. First of all, you always have more time than me. Your only chance of making a tactical mistake is like if you're in time pressure. But this game, man, bishop takes d4 and queen d2, it's almost like effortless. Rook a b1, rook d8. There was this implied threat of e5 at move, I don't know, 8. We'll look at it after the game. I'll show you guys. It's extremely deep. Maybe I can draw now. I wasn't sure about e5 there. If I can set up a dark square blockade, I can hold the draw. But I have 0 winning chances. White also has f4, f5. I mean, white's clearly better still. I offer to draw. We're getting low on time. The computer actually thinks I'm equal here. That's hard to believe. I disagree. But I think his last move was bad. Maybe your worst move of the game, 23 queen c2. Amazingly, the computer thinks I'm equal here. I didn't think so. I actually thought your ability to play f4, f5 looks kind of dangerous. But look at this. So standard position, d3, queen d7, rook e1, bishop h3, bishop h1, h6. Now this is a known position. And black has tremendous score from this position. He plays e4. I played the best move, and now he plays, what, bishop e3. Fighting for d4. My problem is my knight on g8. If it can get in the game, it's fine, but where does it get in the game? Am I going to play knight f6? Then I have to move my queen again. Morales' favorite square is e5. I don't think this is that bad for white. I have to find h5, and that's hard to find. I don't think that was on my mind, because I can play knight h6 and ideas of h4 here. It's a very strong move I might find in a long game. But knight d4 seems like it's just a mistake. After this, I have nothing. Bishop d4. Maybe I could have played cd. Objectively, I should have. I've had games like this. Here, e6. Okay. I underestimated this. So after bishop takes d4, I'll tell you what, right here. I thought you had e5. And you would play it. This is the whole point. You know, why bishop takes d4 is bad. Turn off the engine because it doesn't know anything. This is Morales' favorite square, e5. I'm absolutely certain he would have played e5. And now what do I do? He's trying to open up the position here. His knight's jumping into like e4 and d5. The bishop's open on a long diagonal. And what am I going to do? I have to take on f3. Now he has all sorts of counterplay. In fact, I didn't even consider queen takes attacking b7. But that's got to be the best move. Actually, that's forced. No? Queen takes. Bishop e5. Queen b7. I was looking at this. Maybe this isn't good enough for you. Take here, check, king f8. And black is better. So admit you would have played e5. I'm just too afraid of Morales here. Why did I play rook d8? I'm afraid of b4. But this is too much. I didn't have time for rook d8. I have to play knight e7, b4, maybe knight c6. And I'm equal after knight e7. Alright. You've got me too intimidated. I can't play well against Morales. Krabnik, Drakafire, Bradinsky, Cheesy Noob. Cheesy Noob's a subscriber. But I think a draw is a fair result for that game. Don't play the symmetrical English with black. It's just not dynamic enough. You can draw easily, even against strong players, but winning is impossible. e5 there, he would have played it, and he has good counterplay. I'm totally paranoid. So Cheesy Noob. He likes bishop g5 Trompowski. What if you play d6 against him? Wonder what he does. This has to mess him up, like... Now the bishop g5 doesn't make sense. The London isn't great against d6. You see, Cheesy Noob just does it anyway. But the one opening I would think that the old Indian would be best against is probably like the Tory attack. I'm overprotecting my f6 square, preparing for bishop e7, casting doubt. Yeah, he just doesn't care. Damn. c3 is perfect. Well, anyway, I mean, if I play g6, he's going to be playing his usual stuff. How about like b6? b6, e3, bishop e7, b6, knight on b2, bishop b7, queen c2. My original plan was e5. Let's just stick with it. But he's probably faced this a lot. I would imagine White has some sort of setup in mind. My only argument is that bishop e7 counters bishop g5, but it's still passive for black. I normally never play the old Indian. Maybe like d4 knight f6, c4 g6, or c4 d6 I play sometimes, but not the proper old Indian. So this is a mistake. But Cheesy Noob plays by his own system. Maybe White's not worse, but exchanging your central pawn can't be right. I try to tell people to play fundamentally. He has this sort of homemade system. But in general, you don't want to trade this pawn for this pawn with White. Like, why? Why give up the stronger pawn in the center for a passive pawn on d6? So KS Legion says, strategic mistakes with pawns remain permanent. You noticed 85% of your mistakes are pawn moves. So are you using the lichess, like, what's it called? Are you using the lichess, what's it called? Bishop c5. Knight e4. Double exclamation point. No, bishop c5 might be a good move. It's ironic here to play bishop c5, though. Just insights, right? The insights. Insights, not a word I use every day. It's more than 5 letters. So if bishop e7 now, I have problems with knight c4. I don't know. e4 is not a good idea. And the whole point was to play bishop e7. I could play h6. h6. There's some cool lines like h6, bishop h4, e4. That's not cool. What am I going to do? That's not cool. Dropping your central pawn is not cool. So he's preventing e4. c6 is possible, weakening the d6 square, but not too bad here. I don't know. I'm a little concerned about this square, but it's not a King's Indian. When you play the King's Indian and if you encounter your bishop on g7, the d6 square is much worse. Cheesy Noob just played e4. Not sure that's best. It's basically a Tory attack. Alright. Now I have queen c7. The exciting queen c7 to overprotect my e5 pawn. I don't normally play this. Can you tell me how many challenges there are in the queue? Pichu. I have 4 challenges. Krabnik, Dracofire, Pupitosh, and that's the 3rd one. The 4th one just disappeared. It's not a black line unless you play knight f8, g6. I'm sorry, knight f8, h6, g5, knight g6. That's the black lion. I'm just playing the, the old Indian, essentially, because he played an early bishop g5. I'm trying to play against his bishop g5. That piece we would like to exchange off for our worst bishop. So now we go to c7. Overprotecting e5. Black is okay. But I didn't get a very inspiring position. By the way, if I play like knight takes e4 there, what happens? Damn. I should have at least looked at this. Simply taking the pawn Knight e4, bishop e7, queen e7. Knight e4, bishop e7, queen e7. Bishop d3. I think I'm close to winning a pawn there. Now is he just hanging his central pawn? Knight e4, bishop e7, king e7, queen a3 check. My king is in a slightly vulnerable place. Of course, I could also play knight c5. This is really strange. That's cool. No, that's very cool. Legion. You're using an actual board. Paper and pencil. I'm on g5, but he wins the pawn back. Cheesy Noob doesn't like bishops. There's a funny quote we were talking about yesterday. Ask where's your Capablanca quote? Like grown-up players like bishops, as you mature, you basically begin to appreciate bishops more and more. It's kind of a diss to Chigorin, who always liked knights better. But Capablanca was kind of an arrogant dude in his comments. I don't know if he was considered arrogant by most people, but his annotations were often like kind of dismissive. And I guess his quotes are similar. I think there's more to it than that. There's room for stylistic preference. But I agree, I like bishops better. But I think I was too biased toward bishops. And I've kind of walked it back a little bit in recent times. Unfortunately here, symmetry doesn't really bode well for black. Castle queenside looks dangerous to me, but maybe it's okay. Knight g4, the classic. The unleashing of bishops. But unfortunately, it's going to be very hard to win the symmetrical structure, even with the bishop pair. I mean, bishop's like imbalance, especially in the pawn structure. Chigorin was an orphan. Whoa, what just happened here? Rook e1? That's a weird move. So he sort of saves the tempo, essentially. By playing rook e1, his rook won't get hit by bishop takes g4. What's the point? We're in the cheesy noob zone. No, I don't really want to take on f3 necessarily. Although I could check and take, or take and check. Take and check. Check and take. He's got good counterplay. Now it's like a tempo and a pawn. Don't actually win a pawn. He didn't have to yield the pawn. I mean, he could have played rook e3. He's trying to play more dynamically, which is understandable. Though I'm skeptical whether it's truly enough. Perhaps it's enough in the practical sense. queen f5. Safe. Better safe than sorry. But this should be a draw. Maybe I was winning at one point. But if I was, it was by like a tiny margin with perfect play. And it's all arbitrary. Winning. What does it mean, winning, exactly, according to lichess or whatever? It's totally arbitrary. It's another draw. Yeah, he was too quick. But I shouldn't have played bishop takes f3, honestly. I think this is a key moment, you know, where you just have to realize that trading into opposite color bishops isn't enough for black to win. It's only a draw. You know, I know better than this. Practically speaking, the position isn't winning for me in any case, but I had to play bishop e6 and try to win this position. I actually have pretty good chances of a queenside pawn storm here, come to think of it. Bishop f3 was a very, very bad idea for black. I mean, okay, if you're playing an equal opponent and it draws all right, I'm slightly better, whatever. I really thought you were going to play rook e3, but you're probably better off just sacrificing the pawn. It was a great idea. Now if I play queen c5, you have some attack. And I was concerned. That's why I played queen f5, to limit any sort of danger, but too many draws, guys. Playing too solid. You know, it's one thing to be afraid of losing, but if it starts to affect your play to the point where you're afraid to take any risks, then you've probably gone too far. Did we have this already with Kravnik? Yes. A Slav. Last time I played e3. Why does no one play this move? Can somebody explain this to me? Kravnik, you seem very familiar to me, yet we've only played 3 games. Why is this move never played? I tried to figure this out like a couple weeks ago, but maybe it was a few months ago already, but it's unbelievable. Like bishop f5, no one plays this, but it's playable. What's the deal with that? It's like obsession with the whole London system thing. It's another London system guy. He plays like h6, bishop f5 every single game. It's got to be another Smurf account that I played you on another account. What's your other account? It's all these Smurf players. Too many people with too many accounts on lichess. I don't know who anyone is anymore. I had this with John Shaw. I lost with white, I remember one time. I didn't even understand what happened. Now I can play like transposing to the Slav. I don't even like e3. But I'm even more grossed out by queen b3 and those queen b3, queen b6, c5, reverse Slav positions. At least this has a little bit of like dynamism to it. I don't really know what I'm doing, though. This is a modern theoretical variation, but I don't play e3. So I'm on my own here. Well, the problem with that endgame for me, Mad Ramus, was as good as however I am in the endgame. That endgame is just too symmetrical to really do anything. But my best chance was keeping the bishop on the board. So f3 or queen b3. I think I'm supposed to play f3. You can't just leave the knight out there. Hello. And then I don't know. g3, g4. Black's threatening g5. So this is kind of important. If g4, it's a blunder, right? Knight g4, and I lose material. Correct? So what do I have to do, like g3? Is that normal? g4, knight g4. What other move do I have here? Not being familiar with the theory, I guess I have to do it. Come back to g2. This is, again, like a mirror image London system thing. Those London system freaks who are obsessed with it, they've transmuted all these variations into like the reverse version of the Slav. I've seen a lot of games where black players are playing like I'm playing against the London with fairly good results. Obviously you have a tempo less there, but I can't believe my only move is g3. Queen b3 looks artificial. I mean, queen b3, g5, it's possible you could play that, right? Queen b3, g5, g4. Queen b3, g5, g4. You tell me. I don't know if that's possible. Am I supposed to play like knight g2? I'm totally on my own here. Fianchetto knight. Knight implants. It's a long maneuver. But now we have other threats. I have no idea what's going on. g4, bishop h4 check, obviously. That's almost too complicated to figure out. It's interesting though, like g4, bishop h4 check, king e2, knight f2, queen b3, knight takes rook. Okay, that's too much for me. I'm not playing that. I've seen enough. Too complicated. I guess I could have played knight f4. Duh. I'm just panicking too much. Damn, knight f4 is good. What's wrong with me? Knight f4 was good. I guess bishop e2 is a sort of developing move. Not very exciting. The pawn amoeba. This is alright. White's slightly better. Man, I have no clue what I'm doing though. Never in my life did I play 5e3 against a Slav, or whatever, 4e3. It's just too passive. I don't like it. I don't understand why that's the most common line for white at the top levels. It just seems ridiculously passive. Okay, knight f4. Stationary object. But now we have h4. And the question is, does black have problems after that? Oh, I see. So you have queen c3, queen c2. I didn't even think about it. Queen c3 check, king f2. Queen c3 check, bishop d2. So h4 is too slow. Now I'm going to end up losing a pawn. Let's say something crazy like king f2, avoiding the exchange of queens, which doesn't seem sound. I mean, white may have compensation here, but I doubt h4 was my best move. Whoa. Whoa. So he, like, doesn't see it or something. That's weird. I think he didn't see it. Now he has g5. It's totally insanity. Wait, take. I guess I ought to just play like bishop d2. Man, I don't know. This was a really sloppy game by both sides. e5 was crazy. He probably could have taken on c3 with check. h4 was bad. Now he's looking at f2. White still might be slightly better, but we both made like lots of weird moves. I bade you goodbye. The past of bade. English is a tough language. More than one meaning for bade, but they're spelled differently. What animal bays? If it's not Weird Wednesday, is knight a3 illegal? Nothing's illegal. Alright, you're on the g2 pawn. That reminds me when I was complaining about what I called illegal pairings in the Swiss system tournaments. One of the programmers was like getting into the semantics of my terminology. It was like, it's not illegal. It's like, okay, but that's not my point anyway. I use the word illegal to describe their pairing system, which is flawed. And his take was that we should argue over my choice of words. Missingthepoint.com. All right, so we've got the two bishops. Pawn smile, a large pawn smile over here. f4. f4 is good, why not? At least it keeps his bishop under control. I've got to free my rooks. He's attacking e3, presumably. Man, black is in trouble. Bishops are larger than life. That's an important concept. Knight coming to c4. Say what? What just happened? Wow. Nice idea. Oh, rook takes. Okay, what am I going to do? What's happening? He's down multiple pawns. Well, I'm probably winning here. It was a tough game. It looks like Krapnik went just like a little bit too crazy when he had reasonable position. Not really that convincing though. I'm curious about the opening. How much of this is real? Like, look at this move. Bishop f5. Who plays that? Look at this. It's unbelievable. No, wait. So check the database here. Black to play. Alright? Now there's 55,000 games with knight f6. 4,574 games with e6. 1,022 games with d takes c4. And there's 63 games with bishop f5. 63 games out of 62,000? And there's nothing wrong with it. Like, does that make sense? Or is it just me? It's unbelievable, right? There's nothing really wrong with this move. And only 63 games with it. It's like, what? I'll have to look up the other player who played bishop f5. We can maybe figure out whose Smurf account is who. But it's very, very rare. Bishop f5, and there's no refutation. That's the funny part. Where's the refutation? Queen b3? Is this a refutation? Like, what's the big deal? Queen b6, c5, queen c7, bishop f4, queen c8. I knew a master from New Jersey who was playing this all his life. Brian McCarthy. He would play the Lena system for both colors since the early 80s. Yeah, well, I don't think even the coronavirus can take out Donald Trump. The world's not that lucky. I'm not feeling lucky. e6, e3, so knight f6, and now we transpose. Knight h4. So there's three moves here. Bishop g4, the least common. I know nothing about this. So I'm supposed to play queen b3. Not being familiar, I rejected this. Of course, panicked about like g5. But g5 is okay, because I can play my knight back to f3. I can grab this pawn and then just bring it back. So it looks like this is like a clear mistake. I'm definitely supposed to play queen b3. He'll play queen b6. See, he forces it anyway. So this is interesting. And then I have the stupid queen b3, queen b6 face off again. There's a lot of games here. Even Kasparov playing black. What I did, I guess, f3 isn't so great. Zoltan Ribley. If Ribley doesn't know what to do, no one does. g3. We left the Ribley game. Now there's like no games. Bishop e7, knight g2, correct. Rothstein from 2005. This knight e4, I guess, was kind of a weird move. I missed knight f4. I played bishop e2 here. Yeah, that was stupid. Okay, guys. Next game, Drakafire, Pupitash, and Pichu. I have this one friend who like wished Donald Trump well on Facebook today. I should say I had a friend on Facebook. I immediately unfriended them. And it was funny because the only 10 people who liked his post were like Russians. I thought that was strange. Maybe I'm just paranoid. Alright, anyway. D4, knight f6. So against e3, I'm going to go king's Indian. We'll have a solid king side. Now I should play knight f3 and c4. My best chance is to c5, but I've had a million games with Dracofire. I only know how to equalize here. Playing for a win, I'm not sure. We just have to play chess. You don't have to play c5, but I do think it's probably black's best move. Although the most interesting approach for white is the Mamedyarov e3 poison style stuff with like d5. Yeah, I mean, maybe objectively black should play d5. I wonder what Axel Smith recommends against that. Like, are you going to argue with me like white can try to play for an advantage after black plays d5 here? There's no conceivable way white could have an advantage after d5. But c5 he can do d5. And I've seen a lot of cases where black didn't handle that Benoni very well. Gelfand losing several times to Mamedyarov, which I mentioned before. Several times, twice at least, that I know of. You know, the Benoni is not an easy opening to play if you don't understand the dynamics of it. If you want to not be my Facebook friend anymore, send Donald Trump a get well card. Maybe he's even making it up. When someone lies like 200 times a day, people have a tendency not to believe them. Maybe it's like a political stunt or something. Did Bolsonaro really have COVID? Or did he just like pretend he had COVID so that it would look like he was a tough guy? He got over it easily. Who knows? Who cares? Alright, let's see. Bishop e7, d takes c5. This is a weird move, Dracofire. You've never played this. You've never played in this manner before. So I guess this looks very suspicious. Blocking your normal plan of b3. Dracofire has done very well with the standard kind of b3, bishop e2. I felt sorry for unfriending my friend, but I can't tolerate get well wishes for Donald Trump. Thank you for destroying my country. Get well soon. Alright, no, seriously. The world is going to be a very polarized place for the next couple of months. Knight on bd2. I'm going to try to cut back on talking about it here on the stream a little bit. Not have to avoid the conversation, but I don't want it to be a political stream or something. So d5. It's like you're playing the black side of a Catalan with white, but you've put your queen on b3, which inhibits your ability to play b3 and bishop e2. Here he could try to win material. I guess queen b5. That doesn't look good. Pichu, what? You were lucky you could attempt to win an over-the-board tournament. That's awesome. But what do you mean attempt to win? I actually played in August, and I was one of the only 2 out of 14 players, or how many, 18 players, to wear a mask during my games. It was very uncomfortable. I tend to touch my face when I'm playing, like hold my head in my hands, and I didn't want to do that. So I felt very uncomfortable playing. I like to like just kind of grab my head in my hands and like concentrate really hard. And I was afraid to like touch my face. So I couldn't get comfortable at the board while I was trying to concentrate. Excuses. Excuses. But I'm going to be playing again, hopefully, in October. There's a Grandmaster tournament in Budapest that I have the fortune to probably get to play in. Fortune favors the brave. That's cool though. It was like my 3rd old IM who I could defeat with black and 18 moves. I love playing those old IMs. It's better than being one. A lot of people are going to make the mistake of thinking that I'm an old IM, but I'm not quite old yet. I'm just middle-aged. We have a lot of title players in Hungary, and there are some IMs whose ratings have dropped down dramatically. I don't think I can think of any under 2,000, but there are definitely ones like 2,100. I don't want to fix white structure here. But I mean, that's the case in all countries. In order to become an IM, you have to cross 2,400 once. So it's kind of natural for people to be like me, where maybe they crossed 2,400 and then fell back in the 2,300s. Then again, there's IMs who are like 2,500 plus, who just never got to GM, so it's kind of a wide rating range. There's even like international masters who never cross 2,400. You can get IM by like winning a zonal tournament. If you live in Africa, if you win the zonal tournament, maybe your zonal tournament only has a couple players over 2,200. You could theoretically become an IM without ever crossing 2,400. I know there's a lot of title players who haven't, but anyway, those old players are good to get paired against. Pichu. The problem is I'm playing like more little kids than old people in general, so the little kids are tending to be kind of underrated. We don't like playing them. Alright, what am I going to do here, guys? I want to roll. I want to roll with my central pawns. That's how I roll. Plans, anyone? Yeah, I mean, I lost a lot of rating points by drawing little kids who were rated 2,100. I mean, it's getting to be a real problem. Personally. And you feel like you're like a mean person if you beat this like 11-year-old kid. I'm much more inclined to give a draw to a little kid who's 2,100 than like an adult. Psychologically. There was this one little cute kid where I just couldn't beat him. I was like, oh man, he's so nice. It would just be mean to beat this little kid, you know? He's like an 11-year-old. It just doesn't seem right to like want to destroy your 11-year-old opponent. When I was younger, I never played so many 11-year-old kids as I do now. It's unbelievable. More and more like rated players with really 10, 11. I swear I never played so many 10, 11-year-old kids. So Dracofire is playing better and better. Positionally, like a genius here. Blockading. I already have 2 draws today. Speaking of draws. But if you look at how I lost on my rating points, I dropped from like 2385 to 2325. Very few losses. Like almost all my lost points are like draws with little kids. I shouldn't do this, but I am. Now I have this pawn on c6. Wow, he did bishop d4. Yeah, but I don't think you can give me that. Give me that. Seriously? You can do that? What about a2? Knight takes a2. This is kind of greedy, I know. My rook is protected, but my knight has no squares. It's kind of weird. Weird situation. Yeah, he just didn't realize the same thing. My rook is protected. Well, you got some FM who's really low rated or something? Legion? I don't support the FIDE decision to make FIDE masters anyone who goes over 2300. I don't think that rule ever should have been changed. But whatever. FIDE master meant a lot more when I got the title. We had to walk uphill both ways to the chess tournaments. But it really did mean a lot more. Before you had to maintain 2300 for 27 games, and I think that rule should have stayed in place. The only reason that FIDE changed the rules along the way somewhere was that they wanted to make more money by more people having to pay 50 euros for the title or whatever, or their federations. But honestly, there's a lot of people who like have a lucky tournament, or they have just like a couple lucky tournaments, or maybe they're just simply, they really haven't achieved their true rating yet, and they're like, they get to 2300 and then they fall down to like 21. This automatic FIDE master at 2300 is like stupid. You should have to prove like you can maintain 2300 for a period, you know, that you're really legitimately 2300, because it's just like too many players that are getting that FIDE master title. It's almost like meaningless now. Pupitash, so this is a high rated player. That's the Tash could be anything. Hungarian. That ending to the word is like a Hungarian sort of adjective form. Something that is like, I'm not good with Hungarian grammar, but trying to explain it. Knight takes d4. Sounds Lithuanian. Maybe Lithuanian or Hungarian or something. Pupitash. Alright, so e6. I have a friend who's an IM who's 2100, but I suspect that he may have been guilty of selling rating points or something. I personally never witnessed it, but I'm suspicious. He's too strong to be 2100. You have people like that sometimes who maybe sandbag their ratings on purpose or just sell games or something. But there's a lot of IMs who are 2100 now, 2200. I always joke that I couldn't go under 2300, but I'm a little scared. In another 5 or 10 years, I'm afraid like it might happen to me. I just need to play stronger players. I started playing a lot of weaker players. Too much weaker tournaments. I used to play in like GM tournaments all the time. I was playing an average rating like over 2350 consistently. Not so much anymore. So Pupitash here with a very typical sort of setup. They don't move pawns, just pieces. Pawns are people too, Pupitash. Guy from Little Island forms a chess federation. Oh, he gets FM for 1,700. Well, that's 50 euros for FIDE. Don't forget. This guy's a real bullet player. Mostly bullet and blitz. I don't advocate the way he's playing. It's kind of coffee house stuff. Trading on c6. You shouldn't play chess like this. This is not really objectively correct. Probably I might think about pawn takes if I had more time. I think that it's okay for white. He's probably close to equal, but if you're playing white, like, you shouldn't play this stuff. You're not getting any advantage. And objectively, it's like strategically incorrect. There are many good ways to play against the Sicilian. Look, no pawn moves. You were talking about pawns earlier, right? It's only pieces. White doesn't use pawns. Pawns are against his chess religion. Pawns shall not pass the second rank. Pawns are not, they're not equal. It's discrimination against pawns. I've noticed a lot of like weak computers will play like that. If you play your phone or something, they're programmed not to make any kind of weird pawn moves. What is this, a tactic? Are you serious? Bishop c7? For real? Now I have to play this? Wow. Queen c8, knight takes d5 tactic? Are you even kidding me? I have bishop h4, bishop d8, bishop h4, bishop d8, bishop g3, bishop e7. It's like all worked out. Rook e8, takes g3, takes e7, knight takes d5. An 8-move combination with bishop c7. Wow. So I have to play queen e8. White has a combination there too. Are you serious? No pawn moves? What? White just freaked out and sacrificed a piece. I think he actually had something there. That's weird. I think he actually had something. Maybe knight b5. But he's playing on instinct rather than calculation. Here, with the idea of knight d6, trapping my queen, or maybe winning the exchange. It looks like I might have an out, like knight f6, knight d6, bishop d6, bishop d6, knight e4, rook e4, pawn e4, bishop f8. But he just dropped a piece. That was weird. Just when I thought he really had something. No, he has just 2 pawns for the piece, which isn't enough, as you know. Though I did... Last week I had a funny hallucination against Morales, where I thought I had a piece for 2 pawns, but it turned out he had 3 pawns. It's good to know how many pawns your opponent really has. Objectively, this is not quite enough for white. Guys, what time is it? 12:42. So we have a bit of time left for challenges. First of all, back rank mate. Maybe I should play h5 there, but it's a little weakening. We have to avoid the back rank mate. I should target b2. It's scary if bishop c7 really leads to a forced advantage for white, though. I don't think he has anything here. White's just down a piece. So check this out. Okay, the opening was what, like equal? It was actually a knight-ish game against my former teammate from the French team, Jerzy Slabby, 2005. We were on the same team in like 2008. Bishop takes c6, b takes c. This has all been played before. Now queen f3. Raymond Keane versus Miles. Karklin's Yermolinsky. It's not a dangerous line. Karklin's plays all kinds of trashy lines with white. Queen f3. This is a reasonable move, though. Like, kind of standard. I think that white is fine. It's equal, let's say, at this point. Computer gives me a slight advantage. I was concerned about e5, though. Castles? I mean, doesn't this give white something? Breaking up my structure, I don't really like it, you know? So I play knight d7, and then the engine suggests queen g3, castles. Obviously bishop h6. I have bishop f6. That's tricky. That's what I expected. Instead he plays this, e5, bishop c7. Maybe bishop c7 first was better, according to the computer. If this doesn't work, it loses a pawn in an endgame, so I have to play queen e8, only move. I was looking at this, but it's not enough. Like, fortunately, here, black's fine. I was even looking at this, but I don't have to play bishop d6, I have queen d7, so that's nothing. Knight b5 is nothing. So at the end of the day, white is just made no pawn moves. Pawns are people too. Trixie Cat, welcome. You also tried out the knight a3, c3 Sicilian for the first time. Yeah, that's a weird line. The Weigand-Sev variation. I tried to play that myself after it was played against me. It was played against me by a guy in the 2006 US Open. And he got a pretty good game, so I decided to play it in a couple games after that with white, I think. Once and for a Saturday. I think I had a draw. It's a good line now. It's been over 10 years. It's about 15 years since that was trending, so people forget how to play against it. Maybe one of the best ways to play against the knight a3 Sicilian is like the French style with e6, what Dreyev did. And I saw another idea. Why not just like black playing g6 on move 2? I don't understand why I didn't play, since I play the Accelerated Dragon a lot, I don't understand why I didn't play g6 against knight a3. When I faced it, I played like bishop b5, played knight c6, and white played bishop b5, which was kind of a weird Brassilimo. Speaking of the knight a3 Sicilian, you could play it here. But you don't have to. You're talking about weird moves, right? You were talking about knight a3. We're talking about this. He has a game where he played knight a3. And I believe I played knight c6, bishop b5 with black. But I don't understand why not just like g6. Why wouldn't I just play g6? So here, what do? Let's try something fun. The Slaggy variation. I invented this and then I quit chess for like 8 years. But this move, like, I played in 2 or 3 games back in 2008 or 9. And then I didn't play for, I almost didn't play for 5 years, came back and all these like top grandmasters were playing it. After I basically invented it. I didn't strictly invent it. There was 1 or 2 games back years ago before I played it, but I remember playing this in the Hungarian Team Championship in 2 games in like 2008, 2009, and then I just hardly didn't play chess at all for like 6 years. And then I looked in the database and there's all these games with bishop f5, but I doubt anyone gave me any credit for it. The creator. I probably only played it in like 4 games though. But I was thinking, like, what can black do, you know, to play something original as black in the c3 Sicilian. I've had a good score thus far, though. I didn't lose any of my games where I played it. Not sure if anyone played knight a3. Yeah, I mean, it had only been played in 1 game by, like, Roy DeMasso in the late 80s or early 90s or something. It must have been the 90s. Maybe it wasn't DeMasso, it was another Portuguese player, Gallego. I found a random game. First I was just messing around with Stockfish or some engine, and I was like looking at different moves. And I saw bishop f5 looks actually pretty reasonable. Then I went to the database and checked it, and it had been played in 1 game by like Gallego. But it was like 1995 or something, like some really old game. So I just looked at it, and then all my opponents were super surprised when I played bishop f5. But naturally all the grandmasters like stole it. Although it's probably gone out of fashion again. So I think I'm supposed to play for castle's queenside, if I remember correctly. If you play knight b5, I castle queenside. But I haven't looked at this, you know, since 2010 or something. And I can't recall my games. I mean, I know there was 1 game, my last game with it. The most recent example of me playing this was like, it was around 2010, 2011, and I had a game where white played pawn takes pawn, which I wasn't really well prepared for. Against this 2300 player, he drew USCF 2300. Am I supposed to play e5? What's wrong with e6? Yeah, I don't know anymore. If I had played this 10 years ago, I would remember my own analysis, but I've forgotten it. Unfortunately. Yeah, Danis is here. He's like spying for secret C3 Sicilian analysis. This is my variation that I invented, and then it was abducted by grandmasters while I was playing poker. So I have a perfect record without losses with black. I have like 3 draws and a win playing this line with black. Perfect, undefeated. Man, I'm having all kinds of hallucinations now. So CD doesn't seem right. You have knight b5 there? Huh. And now c4. And now takes on c5. I don't like this that much. It looks like I did something wrong. I feel like I did something wrong. Maybe e6 was too passive. Can I play e5? There's some dangerous lines like e5, bishop c4, queen e4 check, king f1, and white is threatening bishop takes f7. For example, e5 looks risky, but I feel like I did something wrong here. Maybe this isn't good enough. This doesn't look right. Black's too far behind in development. Dennis bringing us bad luck. He's a C3 Sicilian. The Shandor Bira school. Romanian, Transylvanian, C3 Sicilian. Experts. Knight takes d4. I'm already like concerned. Knight b5. If I take, there goes one of my queenside pieces that's developed. This doesn't look good. Maybe I can play knight e7, knight f6. I don't like this. I can take on a3. Wait a minute. Maybe he screwed up. He shouldn't let me take on a3. That can't be right. I mean, maybe white's still alright, but that's not right to let me take there, I think. Now I can get away in time without any kind of major incident. His structure's messed up. That isn't right. So he should have played like knight b5 himself. I was actually thinking about this. What if I take knight d4, queen d4, queen d4, bishop d4, knight f6? What if I don't take? Knight f6, knight b5, queen d1 check, rook d1, castles. Castles queenside, I don't like. Yeah, I don't know. I'm running out of time and I don't know what to do. He just grabbed my bishop. And then another question. Always all these questions. Damn it. Not enough time. This is sort of a stupid way for me to play. I don't think queen d5 is right either. But at least my structure is okay. Black is probably okay if he's careful here, though the bishops are kind of dangerous. Yeah, this is pretty dangerous. I didn't play this particularly well. Nice. Nicely played. Mastering the endgame. Some funny stuff going on there. I think he had better. The bishop pair is too strong. The outside A pawns. Not a good endgame for me. I'm going to drop a piece now. It's brilliant. Brilliant. Brilliant C. Fortunately, it's not that easy for white too. To sort it out. The knights are kind of tricky. They're known to be a little bit tricky. Wait, what? Yep. It's extremely strong. I missed that. Damn. Playing this worse and worse. Oh my god. What? Wow. That's an impressive game. So check this out. It's like Wang Yui. It's the greatest thief of my system. E6. Notice there's no games from when I played it. CD4. So this is all, yeah, this is a blunder. You have to play knight b5. That's what I figured. But now I have to castle queenside. That's sharp, dangerous. I guess e5 is no good though. Bishop c4 is too strong. Yeah, exactly what we said. So e6, bishop e3, and you must play knight b5. It looks like it might be possible to let you take on c5 here. Chescudo, welcome. Man, I had a good game, but I just didn't know what to do. You just grabbed that bishop immediately. Wow. Yeah, I mean, this is a good move too. I thought about it. It might be better than what I did. I wasted tempi here. And queen d5 was a bad move as well. Pretty much any other move is better than queen d5, probably. And this just gives you a better ending. But I was already down to 8 seconds at this point. I shouldn't do that. The two bishops are too strong for the two knights and an ending. The queen on the board with the knights is good, though. I just couldn't think what to do with 8 seconds. You have compensation for the bad structure, probably, but not more. Not more here. Looks like I was surviving. I was even winning at one point, but I don't know. It's just a messy endgame. Played really well. You should have played like bishop e7 right away, and you missed this. You missed this. This is such a strong move. Then you found it a move later. But the question is, could I have taken that exchange? I should have played rook a8 here as well, trying to stay on the a file with those pieces. This is really a dumb move. I guess I was afraid of like bishop d5, something, and bishop e6 in this position. Anyway, guys, good game. I got time for a couple more games. Pupitash already played, so I'm not going to accept that again. Jim, a subscriber to our stream, Tukame and Cheskudo. We haven't had a very good score today, but I'm talking a lot. I got myself in ridiculous time pressure there. 8 seconds, he has 2 minutes. It's just too much, and queen h5 is clearly a bad move. All right, Jim, you're always white. e4. Let's just play g6. I'm not going to allow you to play the Mora Gambit. I'm bored with that. And b3 too. So we're going to keep him out of his favorite openings. Now you're going to try to play the Mora Gambit again. If I take, he won't take back or something ridiculous. So what do we do? d5? d5. d5, d takes c might be good for him, actually. So cd, he plays bishop c4. We transpose to a Mora. Knight f6 is a bad c3 Sicilian. I had enough c3 Sicilian for today. So what other moves do I have? Not a lot, actually. There's not a lot of other moves after c3. d5, dc, de4, queen d8 check. That's better for white, I think. I pretty much have to do it. You took back. Wow, I didn't think you would do it. Surprising. Your big chance to play the Mora. I remember I had a game with white against Jakob Attila. I think white in this position. I have played this with white a couple of games. So knight h6 is one of black's better lines. Morozevich and others have even played a6 in this position, but it looks very slow. Bishop d3 is a strange move. Jim seems like he's unfamiliar. That doesn't seem right. You're unfamiliar. Acerbate's favorite bishop. Everyone's favorite bishop. Take with the pawn. What is happening here, guys? Pawn takes. The psychopathic villain. It's a tough call. Wonder what Botvinnik would have played there. Can I consider taking this way? Not really. Damn, dude. I don't know anybody in the world who would play like you played this. You're like the only person. Maybe Morales. Morales. Why don't you take a little time on your moves sometimes, Jim? To actually think. He's just playing bullet all the time. The main thing is to not hang pieces. My last game, it was crazy to trade queens, but I just sort of ran for the queen exchange with 8 seconds. It was stupid. The queen is very strong with knights, and I should never ever trade queen there. But I thought, all right, I'll be able to hang on against a low-rated player in the endgame. Famous last words. How about this? Again, queen and knight combination. Why am I playing queen a5? What am I afraid of? I know what I'm afraid of, his attacking prowess. Last game, my mistake was trading queens. So what do? On the next game, I trade queens, of course. Very logical. Yeah, just trade queens and play bishop g5, bishop f6, and I have to give up. My king is actually well stationed on d7 in an endgame. Guys, we have 2 streams on Sunday. 1 hour streamer battle with Vita Levente and Merchea and others. Now, you don't want to trade queens. Are you sure you don't want to trade queens? Are you sure? Do you think people who play Smith-Morrow like King's Gambit as well? I would think so. I mean, I would think they both play for the initiative. It makes a lot of sense to me. Arguing that the Smith-Morrow is like a positional opening, some people try. This is weird. His king is not well placed for the endgame. But I have my own issues as well. I guess king e7, rook g7. Damn. What if I take? Not really exciting. Unbelievable. $2,200 in bullet. I really don't know what to do. I don't want to give you my bishop. It's too strong. Keep your stupid knight. You can keep your stupid knight, man. Rook g2. Wow. This is like incredible. Impossible. Who plays like that? You're a sick man. You're one sick puppy. Let's trade. I improved my position slightly with this exchange. His pawns remain weak. I had to keep him off of g7. Obviously, that's pivotal. That's a good square. He might have some sort of tactic C. Dr. Tactic. Driving me crazy, dude. Always the cheap tactics. He's constantly threatening some kind of cheap fork or something. Knight takes d5 in this case. Might have been a strong move. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Damn. I was going to go to g6 and then I changed my mind. Like an idiot. I think I'm still okay, though. Knight g6. Now what am I going to do about this rook on g7? Like, I'll never get rid of it. What's happening? Wait, f3 is just hanging? What's his trick? I'm not sure. I think he's falling apart. That makes sense. Wow. This is unbelievable. How anybody could be that dynamic. It's a little like playing Morales. They're very similar. You never lose a thread, huh? He's got to be related to Morales. Like, Mr. Just dropped a pawn. Mr. What did this do? Why does dropping a pawn help me? It's unbelievable. It's unreal. You have 5. How many islands? Lots of islands. Another tactic. That's all I can do to win a pawn. Move 37. He could have played h4 maybe. Second best. He's going to hold this. I don't want to break up my pawns. Now you resigned. Why would you resign? This isn't so easy. You shouldn't resign, man. I'm not even sure I'm winning. This got way out of control. It's too early to resign. The computer says I'm winning, but I mean, come on. We need more technique here. I don't think you should resign yet. But anyway, it was a fun game. The opening, nobody ever played bishop d3, I guarantee it. It's a crazy move. I should have played f6. This completely didn't enter my mind. It's a very complex strategic position. I'm just glad it wasn't the c3 Sicilian. Tukame chess kudo. Guys, the maximum I have is 2 more games. I've had really tough games today. I don't think I'm in good form. I feel confused and I'm very indecisive and slow. But thanks for not playing the Mora for 1 game. I just get bored of playing the same stuff all the time. Your b3 line is brutal too. This is bad for black though. Bad Benoni. Blocked in. At least he didn't play bishop b7. That would be an utter waste of time. Black can actually do better with that bishop coming out this diagonal. Now, Asterbait, what did I tell you? Don't do this. He lost a piece. Just trying to play too fast. We're definitely going to get to the second game. But he's not one to resign. Too much bullet chess. See, this is what it does to you. Not to be a told you so, but you got to put your heart and soul in every game. Bullet makes you play like just random moves. You're getting to the point where we're just playing random moves without thinking. Alright, next game. Chess Kudo. Gotta get away from the bullet, man. Poisons your mind. You become a raving zombie. So knight of 3 e6. You know what I was thinking of? Like playing this with black? But I have a crazy idea, like e4 g5. Is that an opening? We'll have to try it out on Weird Wednesday. I'm developing a new defense with black. e6 followed by g5, like a delayed, what is it? The macho grab? The delayed macho grab against knight f3. Chess Kudo, what do? Do you play the Dutch? We haven't played in a long time. Yep. Alright, we'll try something I used to play back in the day. Gingy like got me to play this with white. I never had very good results with it. WJ Liv, thank you for your donation earlier. Thanks for joining us. Get some rest. h6 g5 is theory, right? So I'm thinking I'm not playing h6. h6 g5, you mean here? h6, bishop takes f6, queen f6, e4. There's not going to be any g5. Most commonly I've encountered bishop e7. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing here. I haven't played this in a long time. Well, it's essentially a Tory attack, so Cheesy Noob can be happy. Now I don't know. Gave him the idea of G5. I'm not sure what I should play. I suddenly had doubts about bishop takes f6 being that great for white. Though objectively that's okay. Bishop f6, queen f6, knight e5, followed by f4. It's okay, but I don't think it's anything special. Bishop f4 is kind of weird, but I'm willing to allow g5. Basically, I'm playing the London system against the Dutch now. But I don't know, h6 slightly weakens his position. Perhaps I missed the boat. I should have played knight e5 last move. What's he going to do about that? That was a stupid mistake. Beer I don't drink in the morning, but it's probably drinking time where you are. I don't know, the Pilsner Urquell, I gave up Pilsner Urquell, at least temporarily. It's just too bitter. h4. I used to drink pale ale sometimes, but it's hard to find here. So you go to like a specialty store. Though they probably have some variation of it at like Tesco. I don't have a local. They took out the Tesco where I live. It's now a pet food store. I'd have to like go quite a distance to find a good beer store. I used to drink Bass Ale all the time when I was in the States. That's good beer. I don't know if I've ever seen... Again, you could probably find... I'm not sure I even saw Bass Ale at Tesco. I'm sure you could find it somewhere. But again, like a specialty store. Too many kinds of beers here in Eastern Europe to choose from. So now what do we got? H5, maybe F3. You beat me to it, man. Damn it. Prison bishop. Get him out of here. Lock him up. Reduced political commentary. Now with reduced political commentary. I mean, when like Trump gets COVID, we have to say something. Take care, WJ Loof. Sorry to bring up the subject. Keep you distracted. So interesting, h5. I was going to play h5 if you didn't play at Chesscudo, so that was a good call. It's going to be a kind of a sharp position now. Not sure I can open it up though. b5 is interesting. Damn, the mathematical equations are not my strong point. I just decided to drop all my college math classes. What are we doing? I just want to develop my pieces. Is that wrong? Is it wrong? How am I going to ever get out of this mess? Can I play e4? This is great for a blitz game. I don't even know what's happening. Honestly, it's just too confusing. Maybe bishop g5? Try to trade my bishop off for a knight? What a mess. I mean, he's moved almost every single pawn. I've moved all but 2. No, 3. No pieces have been exchanged. And we only have like a minute left. Sorry guys, I have to go after this. Last game. My eyes hurt. I forgot how close the Dutch could be. At least the Dutch is more fun than like the French or something. Chescudo, do you play the French? You're playing d4 e6 or knight f3 e6? I was having a shaky result today. Lots of draws, a loss. We could sack a piece now. But I mean, what about knight g6 and breaking with e4? If knight g6, he has rook g8. I could sack a piece with knight takes c4. I can take on c6, reinforcing his center. That seems brilliant. Sack a piece. Knight g4. Knight g6, rook g8. Bishop g5. No. Damn. Man, I have no idea what to do. Knight g6, rook g8, bishop g5, queen b6. I have no sacrifice or way to break through. I could play something like knight g6, rook g8, but then he has this discovery hitting my guy on g6. Maybe I have a move. Takes. This is wrong. This is just wrong. It's just wrong on principle, taking away from the center. As I said, it's wrong in principle, taking away from the center. We both did it now. You should take toward the center, I think. I think. Therefore, I am. Damn. My knight's defended now. That's the problem. He definitely should have taken with the h-pawn on g4. Black has a very reasonable position. Even so, he might be okay, but it doesn't seem right. Is my knight trapped? You gotta be a little bit careful. Queen h4 could happen. I think I'm gonna be playing queen e1 soon. e4 would be the golden move, if I could get that in. There's a sort of technical problem with that at the moment. But queen e1, queen g3, or queen e1, queen f2 with very strong threats. I think after hg he had a good game. Now it may be lost. What's he going to do about that? That's a routine I used many times in this type of line. The two knights versus bishop and knight, but I'm just lucky here. He has a good game, I think, taking back this position. What am I supposed to play? Thanks for the game. What am I supposed to play here? Damn. My first instinct, I couldn't make it work. So knight g6 is the only move. But after rook g8, this was my plan. I even mentioned it. But it just, I almost didn't believe it, you know? Like, everything's opening up. That's the move. I guess I dismissed it because of something stupid, like take, bishop takes d4. But he's too much trouble here. So this was a terrible move, taking on g4. He should definitely play hg. The computer thinks I'm still better, but you've got to take with the h-pawn and take toward the center and keep that knight unprotected. And it keeps your d5 better. I wouldn't worry too much about this passed pawn right away. It's hard for me. Like, if I don't play e4 here, I might not have seen that. I probably would have just played something like h5 to be on the safe side. Knight f8. It looks like black is hanging on. But I think in the opening, like bishop g5, knight f6, knight bd2, d5, e3, let's see, h6. Wow. So Heavy played bishop h4 here. Oh, crap. That's crazy. In retrospect, I thought I should have played bishop f6 and knight e5. You could even take with the g-pawn, but bishop takes, knight here, threatening queen h5 check would be stronger. I'm surprised by Hebden's move, bishop h4. It doesn't make a difference if black plays g5, obviously. I played bishop f4. Now there's no games with this position. Okay, guys, interesting games today, not easy. I'll be back on Sunday with actually two streams. Over the streamer battle, Sunday 3 p.m. CEST, and our simul every week at Sunday 6:30 CEST. Everybody stay home, stay healthy. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for the games. Thanks for the difficult games today. I appreciate it. It's good training for me too when you guys play extra well. So I'll see everybody later. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for the support from all of you guys. Bye-bye. Thanks, guys. We'll see you later Sunday. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.